Hey, I got a request for the recipe for my potato salad and my macaroni and cheese. So, here is the recipe for my salads. The potato salad, this is a 5-pound bag of potatoes. You can make this salad however big or small you want it, or you just have to gauge it to taste. I do not have a showed up written down recipe because I was taught this by my grandmother. So it is a 5-pound bag of potatoes. I used 8 eggs in this recipe, as well as I believe it's 16 ounces of bell pepper, 16 ounces of onion, and 16 ounces of celery already diced. Now you could do this yourself. You can dice all that stuff yourself. If you want to dice it yourself, you can buy 2 to 3 bell peppers, 2 to 3 onions, and like 3 to 4 celery stalks, and make sure you dice those up. And you don't want them super chunky. You want them diced pretty finely because you don't really want to taste, big chunks of veggies in your potato salad. Mine were a little big, but that's because I was being a little lazy. I was trying to cook for a lot of people. But you don't have to make it this big. You can kind of cut that in half and make it smaller and have just enough for your family. Also, I use the best mayonnaise to use is Hellmann's mayonnaise. I did not have that. I had Kraft mayonnaise. But you can use any mayonnaise you want. You can also add Miracle Whip if you prefer Miracle Whip over mayonnaise. My sister actually likes Miracle Whip in her potato salad. She also likes olives in her potato salad. I do not like either one of those in my potato salad. The sweet relish is enough to make your potato salad. It's not super sweet, but semi-sweet. So, and eggs. You want to definitely make sure you dice those up really well and get those in there. Now, the mayonnaise is, so you want it to be creamy. You want a creamy consistency. You don't want it to be runny, liquidy, but you don't want it to look dry. And you can tell when it's dry because it'll just look really dry. It'll look bland and tasteless if you don't put enough mayonnaise in it. And mustard. Now the mustard again is to your taste. If you add too much mustard, it'll make your potato salad yellow and it'll taste like mustard. It'll taste like mustard salad, not potato salad. So you want to add just enough. You add it slowly and taste it. That way you get that right flavor. Because if you add too much of it, you can't really take it out. So you just add it as you go. Now my sweet relish, I drained my relish to take out some of the sweet liquid, and it gives you just the leftover relish. Now you can add the sweet liquid to your potato salad to make it a little bit sweeter if that's what you want, or you could leave it out. It's up to you. Seasoned salt is the only seasoning I use in my potato salad. No salt, no pepper, no none of that stuff. Just seasoned salt. Lowry's is the best, but whatever seasoned salt you have. And then mix. The best way to mix potato salad is with your hands, not a spoon. It helps to incorporate all of the flavors and get it all in there and make it taste delicious. And again, like I said, pray over it. That is the best ingredient to add to all of your food. Pray over your food. And that's my potato salad. And again, this potato salad I made, and it fed about 25 people. So this is a pretty big potato salad. This is more so if you are having company, doing Thanksgiving, anything along those lines, Christmas, and you just want to make something for the entire fam. That's how that one goes. And I will definitely make sure, here's my Nina, to write it down in the description box so that you can see, what all of the ingredients are, and I'll make sure to put them across the screen so you can see them and that as well. And then you refrigerate it. Oh, and the seasoning on top is paprika. We all know most people, most of the time, paprika doesn't have a taste unless you're adding it to something. But for potato salad, it's the greatest topping. It's the best topping. I usually put eggs on top, but I was using those other eggs for another salad, another recipe. So that's how you make my potato salad. Now to make my macaroni and cheese, I use 2 eggs, 1 can of cheddar cheese soup, 2 cans of cream of celery soup, cheese, any kind of shredded cheese that you want. Now, I use sharp cheddar cheese, and I've also used Colby Jack cheese in my macaroni and cheese. I use Colby Jack shredded usually if I couldn't find the shredded cheddar, or if I wasn't in the mood. Now, a lot of people don't like to use the already shredded cheese, and you don't have to. You can actually use the shredded cheese. You can actually buy the blocks of cheese and shred the cheese yourself. That's a little bit better, and it melts a lot better, but pre-shredded cheese is just fine. Usually I get if I get the pre-shredded cheese, it's either 4 cups, 2 cups or 4 cups of shredded cheese. Usually get like 2 or 3 bags. This particular time I had I believe it was an 8-pound bag or a 10-pound bag of cheese. I only used half that bag for one, so I'll say about 5 to 6 cups of shredded cheese. Also, I use the block cheese or the Velveeta meltable cheese, the kind that you have to cut and then put in a pan and melt it. Well, I bought that and put that in it because it just makes it extra cheesy. Milk. The milk is just to help bind everything along with the eggs, also to clean out the soup cups, as you can see, because I put the milk in there and swish it around with a spoon so that you can get all of the goodies out of the can, and it adds milk to your macaroni and cheese because you put milk in your macaroni and cheese, your homemade macaroni and cheese. That box stuff, you just add the cheese sauce, but for homemade macaroni and cheese, this is how I do it. So we got all of that in there, pour it in. The only seasoning that I use in my macaroni and cheese is pepper. I put a little pepper in it because there's already salt from all the soups and the cheeses, so you don't need to add any more. The next thing that I use is butter. It's stick butter because it's easier to cut up the little make little pads and drop it in there, because as it cooks, that butter is going to melt, and then it's going to go with the cheese, and it's going to get all deliciousness. I'm just drooling thinking about macaroni and cheese now. Once you've added all of that in there, you want to take your hot macaroni. Now, you can use whatever pasta you want to use. I personally like to use, it's called cavatelli. I can't say it correctly because I'm not Italian, but it looks like spiral noodles. I really like to use those kind of noodles because they absorb more, and it just gives you more macaroni and cheese. And it's very filling. So I like to use that. Now, you don't necessarily have to use that. You can stick with the traditional elbow macaroni, or you could use bow tie macaroni. You can use whatever pasta you want to use in your macaroni and cheese. Again, like I've said, don't use spaghetti. It'll just look like cheese soup. I'm serious. It'll look like you're eating spaghetti soup. If you use spaghetti, it'll look like soup. You don't use spaghetti. Use any other kind of pasta that's a noodle of some kind. That's not a noodle. I'm sorry. That's small, like the bow ties or the cava, whatever I just said, or the penne, which is what I used, those types of noodles. You want to use those noodles for your macaroni and cheese, in order to make it look, appealing. Because like I said, if you use spaghetti, it's gonna look like soup. You're gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees covered, and let it go for about an hour. And then you go back and check on it to see what it's doing. Once it starts to bubble, because you'll see the bubbles from the butter that you put in it, you'll want to take the aluminum foil off the top, and just let it cook that way until the top gets little bit brown. You don't want a lot of brown, because that means you're drying it out if it's too brown. You just want a little bit of brown on the top. And again, I'll put all of the ingredients down in the description box, but I just wanted to come through and tell you how I make it, so you could see for yourself and reference it. And hey, if you actually use this, let me know. Don't forget to tag me and let me know that you actually made some potato salad or macaroni and cheese. Let me know if you all would like to see or cook with me, because I cook this stuff for Thanksgiving. I also cook this for Christmas. So if you would like to see more of what it is that I cook from scratch, let me know down in the comments. I wouldn't mind.